Come here.
Make it. Good morning, guys. Welcome to FYI. I am Direct Finance alongside Sharon Duncan here, all for your information, guys. It is Tuesday, the 14th of June, 2022, and we are off to a great morning thus far, Guys, I know a lot of you have been messaging saying that you're under the weather, and I understand the persons are not so well this time around. We understand, trust me.
We feel your pain. Good morning.
Anyone that's feeling under the weather, probably if just make sure that you take all your vitamins and everything so that you are safe and the persons around you are safe also. Guys, it has been quite a day yesterday. I don't know.
Correct. It was a busy day.
Yesterday was
taxing
crazy.
day. Yeah, but we made it through.
We barely made it through.
Yeah.
we barely made it through.
We're halfway through the month already, so there's that too,
Hear me going in with a sports comment. Congratulations on the win last night to all the Warriors.
Whoever you are there. Congrats. Congrats.
Listen, this morning the first thing I did was check the score because God knows I went in sleep early. The first thing I did was check the score because I wanted to make sure that when I'm calling people, I know what mood they're in.
Correct. Good morning, Orindon Cook. Respect and manners to you as well, and Ingrid King. Claire Alexis, Charlie Richmond, good to see you as well, and Lloyd McAllister, Isin Koja, all you wonderful people, good morning to you. Dan Fodex is here as well, and June Chase. Yep. Good to have you, including and not limited to June Bowery, Gloria Bowery rather.
I see Candy Nalini in the G said, I reach people.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I reach.
Candy is late sometimes.
Yeah, we gotta apply the rod. You want to spoil the child. Not at all.
Crack the whip.
Crack the whip. I see Marlene de Jong is joining us from France. Good morning, Marlene. Hope it's a great day here in the French capital. Good to have you. Yep.
Marlene got quite a combination of color of the hearts there.
Yeah. So happy.
Marlene put a yellow, a green, and a red heart.
So happy that you guys are here with us this morning.
Marlene is very loving this morning.
How is it Merlene Sampson? How are you, Merlene? And Alicia Thomas?
Samantha says, I have a story to share. Do share, Samantha. Share. Let
us
know
your story.
What's going on.
Yeah. Speak your truth, Samantha. Speak your truth. Good to have you. Cherry Baskin Greenwich is joining us, all from Barbados. Hope you're good, Cherry.
How are you this morning? How are the folks in Barbados? June Cameron also.
Hi, June. Hi, June. June and Judy. How are you guys doing? Good to see you.
Candy lying to you. Wouldn't happen again.
Yeah. We know them bad students. We know them.
Oh, yes.
Hope we do your homework. Beatrice says she loves your color.
Oh, thank you, Beatrice. Thank you so much.
I see these comments for you.
I know, right?
They don't always be reciprocated.
I'm like, do I mix blue with black?
They don't always be reciprocated.
However
moving on, Marlene de Jong from France.
I'm like, however this blue and black look shirt wants to overshadow my shine right now.
Rishma Mohammed, good morning to you.
You look good too, Sharon. You look good too.
Thank you. Let me slow down. Let me slow down right here.
Somebody in the comment, please tell Sharon how he looks.
Oh, yes. Let's slow down right here. Edward Broom says he's present. Good to see you, Edward. And Paul and Hawkins.
Spice Man is in the house.
How are you doing, Spice Man? And you got Milo too. Right time, Milo show up. Audrey Milo. Good to see you. Or Milo.
It's Milo. I don't think you can sit there all the way.
Sharon Alfonso Evans. Sharon, good morning.
Says Trinidad in the house.
Oh, Trini in the house. Yes. I see all of them fall apart yet. Predictions were wrong. Judy A. Williams. Judy said we good.
That's a nice sneak in.
Yes. You're still here. I thought you were fall apart right now. You're still here. Goodness. Lynn Fernandez. Good morning, Lynn. Good to see you. Yep.
I just saw Melanie Pastano is here this morning and Carol Rawlins. Yep. I see you guys. Aileen Griffith, and did not get the rest of that name. Sorry.
Yeah, same thing. Griffith, Miss Griffith. Yolanda Thomas.
Yolanda. Nandy Melissa Lewis is there with a lot of hearts and
correct. Yulene Reed is here as well. Yulene, how are you all doing now? How are you all doing? Let me ensure that we shared it to all the right places. And we're going back with you guys. You go right ahead, Julie.
That is correct. I'm still in the comment section this morning. I see Paulie and Schultz there. Paulie and saying a blessed morning, guys, and I'm seeing Donna McDonald and everyone there. It has been quite an amazing. Every time I have to say that the more we see persons come on and they're sharing their comments and they're interacting, giving their feedback, the more encouraging it is for us to come on and do what we do every single day. I don't know if I can pause a comment from Samantha Prince. if I can pause that.
What's Samantha telling us?
Samantha was saying
I
she
won, I
has a
fast.
story to tell, so I don't want that comment to go by so quickly.
Go right ahead, Samantha. Let us know what's
All
happening
right.
at your end. Please and thank you. Let us
No,
know.
she actually put the comment in the group already.
And you're all going to hear us say good morning again, and you're gonna know when we
Yes.
go through all the other pages. It's like if we
Most
started.
definitely.
It's like if we started back from the top.
Yes, we have a lot of pages that we have to share to the cross sharing is so important. We said that we encourage you guys to do your part as
Yep,
well
yep.
and share the stream. Beatrice says, "Read and share that change my work day, so I am off of work."
Oh, nice. And good morning to you guys.
Good morning,
Whichever
everyone.
page you guys are joining us from, good morning and welcome to FYI. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
And so for the guys that has just joined us, some new pages, I say good morning to you all. Make sure that you are locked in because we're going to be having quite a discussion. I'm having these tongue twister moments very often. You know?
It's that kind of morning. It's that kind of morning. Good morning, folks. Wherever you're joining us from around the world, we are so privileged. Last night we had a huge audience. Maybe we have a big audience every night, but last night was a little extra special.
Last night was phenomenal.
I'm so
I
grateful.
think that last night was
Yep.
over 5,000 and persons are
Yep,
there
yep, yep.
sharing and doing whatever they have to do. to
Yeah,
get
and you
stuff
know
done.
that's why we're so grateful for people like Merle Joseph and all the other guys, Marla Pandey, Beatrice Selby, Dave Durrell. Good to see you, Dale. Merlin, of course, joining us from France, and Maureen Coppin Williams. Good to see you, folks. Sharon Grant and Roxy Andrews. Good to have you, Shakira Phillips. Good to have you here, Shakira. Hope you guys are off to a fantastic start of the day. Make the best of it, guys. Make the absolute best of it. You know, pace and power. Amabel Clement and all the other guys there. We love when you guys join us. Is it Delia? Is it that? Delia Silcott.
Yes,
Yep.
that's what it looks like to me.
Delia
I'm
Silcott.
gonna ask Samantha if she could just post that comment one more time.
You lost
it
it.
Went by so quickly,
Mhm.
but I'm in.
Happens all the time.
Right now.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Trina.
I see Robert London is saying good morning and say good morning to you, dear. Hope everything is great on your end. So much for us.
Roberto, good to have you, Roberto. Sasha Trim.
And Keith Dowell and Keith, I'm not missing you.
Desiree Smart, Felix as well. Good to have Desiree.
Yes.
Elizabeth Narayan joining us from Sparkle City, South Carolina. Good morning, Elizabeth. Hope you and the whole home circle are well. Raman and Ariane, Antonia, Alicia, all the grands and so on.
Congratulations on
hope
the
you guys
to the post of GS.
Hope you guys are great. Thank you so much. You
so
guys
I
are
read
too
the
kind.
comment. It says congratulations to SAD, and I'm like sad, like congratulations. And I realized what you were saying.
You pick it up quick.
I was a little slow there.
Good morning,
guys.
folks. Good morning to each and every one of you. Good morning to you guys. So we're so happy you're here. Beatrice Selby, we're happy you're here. And Julian Mars, Jennifer Bob. You know, you guys make the program what it is. And we're so grateful. We're so touched by your love and your support. Yep.
That is correct. Guys, we have a lot to discuss this morning. I want us to get straight into the discussion if that's okay with you. Let us know if there's anything important happening at your end. I'll be trying desperately to monitor the comment section so I can get stuff done.
Yeah. It's an incredible morning if you look across the papers. And we didn't have to go hunting for a certain narrative in the storyline. It confronts us all the time, and it's more pervasive now. I got my dictionary last night.
Well, I see Polly and Schultz saying that Samantha's claiming that that a police officer was demanding $8,000 from her last night. So
under what circumstances? I mean, no circumstances acceptable unless you're paying for some service you have to pay for to get a police force. That is. But otherwise than that, let us know the circumstance too. We can talk a little bit about that, and some of that we're talking about here because you know, instead of the police focusing on what they're supposed to be focusing on, clearly they aren't focused on those things, and it's really a cause of concern when you look across the morning papers. And again, we don't have to go very far for it. It's right there. It's right there screaming at us. And I want to make sure I have it right. You know, lots of the narratives, it paints what one kind of picture. And I'm certain, for instance, Stabrook News and Kaito News and the others weren't in any kind of conspiracy to bring us some of the headlines that we are seeing. And we don't even have to go into them. When we call them, you'll understand what we're talking about.
That is correct.
Georgia,
that is correct.
When I go silent, you have to jump in.
I know. No, that is correct.
I'm just teasing. Right ahead. I'm being facetious.
You are so, because I'm trying to monitor the comment to get the fullness of the story that Samantha is saying, but Samantha, we definitely will be touching in as soon as we
So
get
this
the
was a
context.
minor traffic offense. Yeah,
And
I didn't want to go there, but that's what it is. And we're coming to another story that's related to traffic and offenses, licenses,
yeah,
and so on. So
my
we
goodness.
can circle back to that. And maybe some well, we don't have the phone here either. So
No.
as well as send to my phone.
Mm.
But nevertheless, Samantha, yeah, you can send it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Send to us via our WhatsApp number 627-6963. Send it to us there, and we can have a look at it. But $8,000 for minor traffic offense. You see that?
No, but $1,000 at the police asking for any amount of money for any offense,
Yeah.
it's a crime all by itself. These are persons that is in place there, and their duty is to uphold the law,
Yeah.
not to commit crimes.
Which
That's a
goes
crime
to-
all by itself.
Which goes to some of the headlines you're seeing. They are not focused on what they're really supposed to be doing and what they're being paid for doing.
Because we have been, I consistently say this, and I will not change what I'm saying now. We have young people that were born and raised. We have persons that are living in their 20 something years old. They were born and raised in a country in which they have seen that's the way things operate. That's the way
So we
things
don't grow it
happen.
out, as we say?
No, I'm
That's
telling
frightening.
you. No, I'm telling you that's not what I'm saying. That they believe this to be the norm. They have been cultivated that way to believe this is the norm, and in order to get wrong everything that is.
But we can root it out with the right policies.
We have police officers in their early 20s that was born and raised in their mind cultivated in such a way
And
in
corruption,
society.
nefarious
That is
activities.
corruption.
Yeah.
We have to break this strain of
Break the cycle.
corruption. Break the
You
cycle
know, the church got
altogether.
a part to play, the religious community, and
It's crazy.
politicians with adequate policies can do their work as well. And some of the headlines in the morning papers this morning, folks, welcome if you're now joining us. Put up a cup of something with us, a bowl or something. I had some cereal before coming on. I'm having some coffee. And, it's good to not miss this very important meal of the day. It's the reason why they call it break and fast. Right? So please, right? Please make sure you put something in your stomach, as we guys need to say. And let's get on with it. Some of the headlines making the morning papers: bandits rob bus passengers at Leopold Street. Desperation. Right?
I think when it comes to this wave of crime that is passing through, when it comes to persons being robbed right through especially in the capital
like COVID,
city.
this is the second wave or the third wave?
This is it's crazy,
Countless
right?
waves.
It's crazy, and we've seen, and so many videos are circulating of persons being robbed. You can't sit down in peace. The man trying to get out of his yard to go into his car, he getting robbed right there in front of his gate. The people sitting down in front of a shop, there's the benches out there. Someone
you gotta flick over your balance in your car.
The guy talking to a girl trying to give sweet nothingness in her ears, right? The guys come and stick them up and rob them there. Everywhere seems to be unsafe.
Irrespective,
Seems to be unsafe.
Including the PNCR office, because another headline says thief cart off with items from PNCR office.
But I want to make the point that before we could as parents, and so you caution your children. I grew up and my mother giving me a caution. You don't go out late in the night because it's not safe. You stay away from certain areas if it's not safe and all of that. Today, that's not so. 10 o'clock in the morning, somebody sticking you up on the corner in the boldness.
Nobody keeping high risk Saturday,
right?
And low risk Wednesday.
It's
anytime,
crazy. And
any place. Selena Fraser, we see that comment there as well. Morning, Selena. Welcome from Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. Judy said it. So bandits robbed bus passengers at Leopold Street. They said the guys were in the bus. When they came out, they turned back and collect their things.
I want to put out a caution to persons, especially persons utilizing this transportation when you have to catch a bus, particularly a bus. There's a lot of times you have to be very vigilant yourselves. Now more than ever before, and you have to look at people's action. A lot of times you see people would come out of when you tell the bus driver you were stopping, then they suddenly gonna come and say they're stopping off at the same
you gotta watch
area
that
too, right?
You gotta watch that.
It's as crazy as it is.
And a good sign of that is to wait till you're a little close. I mean, sometimes you want to give the direction early, but wait till you're a little close and see who else won't come out at the stop.
Check and see who's coming out of the bus.
Right? Sometimes you gotta stop at the corner before too.
Yes.
Just in case you gotta sometimes pass the car and say, hey, I can take it here.
Yeah.
I forget I'm going, by that street
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Correct.
Right? It's sad we have to operate this way, but it's the reality of it. So bandits rob bus passengers at Leopold Street. Thieves cart off with items from the People's National Congress Reform Office at Agricola. I'm just calling some of the headlines. Again, we have to search for, as in the morning papers, on the front page of the morning papers. Take another one. 3 robbed at, again, Leopold High Street while buying food. Robbed in the minibus, robbed buying food. 3 robbed buying food. Those are the headlines we're looking at this morning. Those are the morning papers. These guys, Rita, when the PP Civic were campaigning, they had a lot of promises. One of them was to provide a crime prevention plan, right? Not only have they failed to do that, they have failed to provide any unit policy at UGF for your masters, any policy prescriptions that can help this issue here. So we're only talking crime pervasive as though we're trying to be propagandistic. I sound like I'm a little bit there. Propagandistic by any means, but this is the reality. And just the other day, them boys tell us in Region 4, serious crime is down by 33%. And we were saying right on this program, Rita, is where they're living. Clearly, they're not living where we live. Right?
Well, I don't think they have even looked when it comes to anything concerning public policy altogether and the way in which it should be implemented. All the policy measures that they have been looking into is ones that will benefit the few persons at the top, and that those that go specific to business initiatives and so forth. So there's a whole lot of things to be looked at. But when we're talking about policy, I mean, you just awaken that section of my brain. And when you're talking about policy altogether, it comes through a different framework, and there's a different sort of process in actually getting to public policy being implemented altogether. All right, so it's not just a simple you just get up one day and you just go and say that you're going to have a public policy on something. But what we are seeing is their failure to even look at the facts on the ground, to actually even think about conceptualizing a policy framework. Or
another thing I want us to talk about. It is not an excuse by any means, but again, you're seeing a kind of daringness, a boldness in the robberies you're seeing, and it all goes back to how the economy is performing.
Yeah,
how the economy is performing. People got it real tough. We had Kamal yesterday on our podcast. And we're talking about the economy, dollars and cents. And, people were begging for Kamal to come back, because she has that. We asked Kamal to come because, again, she got that kind of groundings. She understands what's happening on the ground with the folks, and people love that about her. And she was talking about how things are going. I mean, you were articulating some stuff in the green room before we came on. Prices gone up for some commodities in some far-flung places, you know.
But I keep talking about.
So things are. It's not an excuse by any means. Not an excuse by any means for this kind of nefarious activity.
And the specific pricing that we're looking at, guys, you would remember yesterday's program, we were asking for persons to give comments about prices, exorbitant increases, inflation is out of control on specific food items in particular in your area. And one of the comments that we got was from Kamal, was that, and she was making the point of bread being $500 per loaf in Bartica.
Per loaf,
right?
500. Wait for it.
But you just wait for it.
Wait for it.
Because then just coming after that, we got the update that bread is just it's $1,000 per loaf in Port Kaituma.
Wow.
Port Kaituma, for those of you who don't know, is in Region 1. So you have Bartica bread is $500 per loaf. You have Port Kaituma bread being $1,000 per loaf. So that's what you're looking
at.
That's
$5 US.
That's what you're looking at right
$1,000 per loaf.
Right.
Wow. That's it. And again, I wasn't making an excuse for the banditry. I think it is part of what you're seeing, this boldness and daringness, as you articulated earlier on. Bright day clean, 8 o'clock in the morning, 7, 10, whatever time of the day it is, them boys don't care. It's like they left with something and they're coming back for it. Where's the plan for this? We have the money. If you all don't have the expertise, we always talk about the technical experts. Bring in the people who understand this thing, man. And let's arrest it. Let's arrest it. And we have to have an appreciation that the more money we accumulate as a country. I see them saying we now up over 700 million US in the National Resource Fund. The more money we accumulate, like anybody, the more money you have, you're building big house and so on, you got to get more security. You know, so we have to look at that. We think that people must be able to go and come in peace.
Well, I think what we can look at is the fact that like who are involved in these stick up and these broad daylight robberies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the facts being placed on the table is that the man are going to drive up in a Lexus and stick you up and rob you, and that is a fact, right? I mean, persons that a lot of people. Let me just say this: a lot of people don't want to have in-depth discussion and addressing root causes of issue, and I always say. And you can go back to every program that I've spoken about this. I always say that you have to break down the structure altogether of crime and crime affiliation and all of that. And you may very well be surprised to see how these individuals are linked and the network that they operate within. You will be shocked if you are to see who is linked to who and how these products that are being stolen are being put out there on the market for consumers to go purchase again.
But God, you know, we're going to get through this, folks. We're going to get through this, and we're going to put the right people in place to get the kind of result that we want. And you all know, we've lived in this country, and those of you who visited, you've been overseas, you've talked to your relatives here, we were going somewhere.
Yeah.
We were on a trajectory to somewhere. Crime was down, police were solving crimes and so on. Things were dealing in a very stringent way. And now it's everything come back. All the malices and vice society could ever endure, we're facing. But that's just the reality of our existence.
That's why I always say that when we're talking about an equity, this equity is a word that I use a whole lot. All right, because I never look at equality because it's an unfair way of treatment, especially to persons that are, especially the poor people. Let me just be as blunt as that. When you talk about equality, it doesn't really do much for poor people because they're not at that standard to actually move up when you give them an equal opportunity to the opportunity that you're giving someone with $10 million in their bank account. All right. So when I always talk about equity because I feel very passionate about poor people, and that is a fact at hand. So I always go back to all of the attributes, if I can put it like that, of people that lives in poverty altogether. What are the characteristics that you see coming out? What are the similarities in poor neighborhoods? And we have to have this brutal, frank discussion. And if we actually want to fix it. But the point I want to make is that I always speak about it because you have to, if someone needs a little boost in order for them to be as compatible and competitive in business and so forth, then you have to look at equity, and it could never be equality. Guys, listen, there is no excuse for saying that we're going to give everybody the same thing. And so it is okay. It's not okay. It is important for us, no matter how good we are, no matter if you can get up in the morning and you can get into your car and you can drive and you can go to work and your children are well fed and everything, you cannot pretend that it is not your concern if there is communities and it has been widened with persons that are suffering, persons that are starving, because there are negative factors that comes out of those situations. And that's just a fact. Let's look at the psychological implications of those things altogether. There are tremendous negatives that comes from that. And guess what? It affects you. It affects you and your family. It affects your safety. It affects your comfort. And when you look at things in that way, we realize that we must play we must have this even playing field, that persons are empowered to do better for themselves, to create a better life. And for the persons that blatantly want to go out there and commit crimes, no matter if they're given an opportunity to do better, then lock them up. Lock them up. If you giving persons the opportunity to get themselves better and to better their lives, and they choose a life of crime, then lock them up. Right? But you have to provide the opportunities.
Talking about the opportunities and equity and all of that stuff, you know, look where we are as a country, filthy rich as a nation, and, you know, it's going to get even better in that regard. Is how we're going to spend these resources. You know, if we spend them on formulating good policies and the architecture to safeguard our citizens for the long run, which means you could come out your house at your leisure and you can go and shop and come back, and nobody trying to do you anything. That life exists in other places. That life exists in other places. But you gotta fight for it. You gotta fight for it.
Correct.
You can walk. You can walk all through New York, right? And don't feel as though somebody gonna run up and. I mean, I'm certain it exists there, but not to the degree, of certainty it exists here. And people, this struggle is real. I can remind you of a situation that Juliet and I were in the other evening. Left the program and we were heading home. There is a woman. We're driving through the city, standing at what's that? Regent and Blessingen Road. This is what 9:50, 9:30 that evening. Regent and Blessingen Road. She's standing there. And we just found it very odd to see this woman with a purse strapped across her.
Looking like a target.
Looking like a target.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like a target, standing by Regent Street and Blessingen Road, just off of the botanical gardens there. And, we turned back. We were looking to see if there's a setup, any cars parked nearby, motorcycles or whatnot. And then we stopped. We asked her, what are you doing here at this hour? Right? She looked reasonably sane to us, and like all her faculties are in place. Asked her, what are you doing here at this hour? She said the bus dropped her there. The bus was supposed to come down home stretch and put her off at Coffee because she was going to Durban and Blessingen Road. It was her birthday.
Yeah.
Was her birthday, and she's going to hang out with some friends at some establishment there, Durban and Blessingen Road. And she said, but the bus came down some other street and put her out at Regent and Blessingen Road. And we said, big auntie in a bad spot. Yeah. Come in, let's give you a lift quickly. Right? And you can see she was scared too, being standing there. Right? We got to look out for each other too.
Correct.
We got to look out. I am happy we turned back that evening because that could have gone sideways.
On our mind. It would have rested on our minds too.
That could have gone sideways quick. You gotta be vigilant.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying. You might be in a safe area. You think it's a safe country. Walking through New York City, but me got $1,000 US in my pocket, hoping that everything goes well. We gotta be vigilant too and take the necessary precautions. And look out for each other.
Yeah.
Look out for each other. Right? Look out. That's similar in the very same fashion. One night I am on Camp Street for some reason, and there is a teenager standing at Quindon and Camp Street. Now, if you know this city, 7, 8 o'clock, young East Indian girl standing there. I said, you can see she's waiting on somebody because she's fidgeting with her phone and she's looking. I know that was the rendezvous point or what. And I said, young lady, what are you doing here? Right? She said she's holding for somebody. I said, you're in a bad spot. You better keep moving. She said, thanks, mister. Keep moving. We got to look out for each other in this country.
You absolutely have to.
We got to look out for each other.
But even on that point, and this is another point that I always make, and I want to repeat it here again today. Every time there is no instance in which these young men, particularly, that is going around robbing persons, people always know who they are.
Yeah.
People always know who they are. Stop covering up for them. Stop signing off their death warrant, because that's what you're doing every time you cover up.
Turn them over to the police.
Right? Every time you cover up for them. Just report them. Make sure you keep stock of the young men that is in your community as well. And listen, person for me think I'm a little crazy, but I am way different when it comes to these things. If I see somebody rob someone and it is in a community that I am, then I make it my duty to go look for them. I don't care if it's a couple of days. I look for them until I find them. And there has never been an instance in which I didn't identify them. And I tell them blatantly, you have to do it. You have to keep stock of what is going on. And I remember one particular day, you see the young woman is walking and the guy is walking through the street, right through the street where I am. And I know him. He does not look like he is up to any good. And I told him point blank, I said, you leave that girl alone.
You feel it in your bones.
I see you leave that girl alone. You turn back, he watched me, he vexed, but he turned back and he went his way. No, we have to be.
Yeah.
We have
and
to
in that manner, you confront them in that very manner. Hey, go from there. Let the girl, whatever. Make sure you're safe to do that. But I want to go to the other side. That young lady standing on Camp Street. They got a lot of men wicked, right? A lot of men wicked. You send a girl for stand there and wait on you. What kind of jerk you are,
Yes.
right? And oftentimes, even right now, you see it on the sea walls. Young lady, you could tell is a fellow she waiting on the sea wall. She alone, in a spot on your phone. You asking yourself for trouble. Asking yourself for trouble, right?
On the seawall of
On
all
the
the
seawall,
places. Of all the places.
8 o'clock in the night, a young lady by herself on your phone must be asking you, were you there? You meet here yet? I'm there by myself. You looking for trouble. You looking for trouble. If a young man said, meet you on the seawalls, right? And when you get there, he's not there. He said, meet you for 7 o'clock, and he's not there. Turn back and go home, girl. It's like you're asking for trouble. We understand.
I would say just don't go.
We
if somebody
understand.
Can't come to you to pick you
There's
up.
that story
where are you
too.
going?
Real
Where are
old
you
school
going
now.
if someone can't come to
But
your
we have to
house
look
to
out for
pick
each
you up?
other. We started on this, and we talked about all these robberies that are taking place. The people in the bus that get robbed recently. People stand up on the road buying food. Things are tight. They get in robbed. I know if they rob the money or the food. Which one? The people who broke into the PNCR's office and in Agricola there, and you were talking about parity and so on, and where we're going as a country. A man has a what do you call it? He has it's not an episode. He has an event. Whatever the medical condition is, he has an event, right? And he is in dire need of medical attention. This happened recently to Tikram Singh,
yes.
right, from Jacklow on the Essequibo coast. Tikram Singh, and you can imagine, you got a first aid kit on the ferry. He's traveling to Essequibo, right? He has an event, whatever is happening to him, and you got a first aid kit, right? You got nobody trained in little medical first aid or what have you. And here is Tikram Singh will lose his life now, heading home to Essequibo. Right? That's the country we're living in. But we're gonna go and talk about the GDP and this 45% and shore base
and the 700 something in the account and all of that.
Yes,
right?
And a first aid kit we can have, and we showed right in this program the other morning. If it's not one of our programs, one of the ferry supposed to tell us the washrooms. You're inside and outside. It has no door and all of that. So what are we boasting about? When Tikram Singh could lose his life, perhaps for something that is preventable.
Yeah.
If you got, I see the defibrillators coming out in all fantastic permutations, very easy to use and all of that. And for the sake of something as simple as that, Tikram Singh would have lost his life on a ferry traveling to the Esco. So, we really got to think through these things. We got to get better and not worse. And that's why we were asking the other morning, Twitter, if when our leaders go overseas, they don't see one or two things that we could borrow, right? One or two things we could implement.
But I think we have to, when it comes to that particular case, a lot of times we would even, we talk about the fact that persons are not very much of faith with first responses, and so that you can aid assistance you can give to someone that is in need. And I think as individuals ourselves, once we are, there's nothing preventing us from actually taking basic training, enforcing and all of those things. Those things could come in very useful, handy for yourselves, your family, your immediate surrounding, that you may be able to lend a helping hand. That is something that I take very seriously, because I have done at least 3 different courses of first aid, because I want to make sure that if I'm ever in a situation that I can help. That's why a lot of times when I see accidents happen and I see people dragging people out, I'm like, I want to scream, because they may think that they're helping, but they're doing everything in the opposite to helping. So we have a lot to do, a lot of work to do, but it's unacceptable for a ferry to not have not just have a first aid kit, but they should have a medical attendant there permanently. That is there on the ferry. That thing takes a while to get to where it's going. These are government services that is out there. We need to do better as a country altogether.
Yep. We need to get better and not worse. I think we're heading now to the morning brew to see what's brewing out there, guys. And for those of you who are now joining us, thanks for joining us. Thanks for making us your one-stop place for information, infotainment, and all that good stuff. Look at what is happening overseas. And Judy, I think you understand this more than I do. How to murder your husband, Write it. Not that you just murdered her husband or anything like
Oh
that.
goodness.
How to murder your husband? Write a sentence for murdering husband.
So
You know,
listen.
art imitating life.
This one,
Life
murder.
imitating art. That's it.
And the caption that was on BBC was most captivating to me. It said, "Murder," she wrote, and for murder, she is going to jail, right? And it says that the judge has sentenced Nancy, a romance author who apparently foretold of her crime in an essay titled "How to Murder Your Husband," to life in prison for the shooting death of her late spouse. But you know what was most interesting? I'm just gonna get to these facts. Is that before her crime, she had been a self-published author who works of steamy. She writes of steamy romances and suspense. But she also had written novels that includes novels such as "The Wrong Husband" and "The Wrong Lover."
As long as you say this man is in love.
This woman.
As long as you're giving you a wink.
This is not funny, right?
Yeah.
But it's not funny, but I can't say it with a straight face. This is someone. A lot of times, we go out there and we buy novels and all of that. We don't know the mental lapse that is in the minds of the people that we are.
John, gotta watch what you're reading.
I know he doesn't have that problem. I don't read these things, right? But it just goes to show, and I want to give a caution again. A lot of times we go out there and we say, "Oh well, because it's in a book, it is supposed to be all sung and all." This was a crazy person writing here, basically.
Or sometimes you don't know your husband.
There's a crazy person writing here.
Sometimes you know your husband, Glenford. How was song this? Sometimes you think she's crazy, but when you interact with the husband, you're like, "Oh, she was perfect."
No, because writers are influencers to a very large audience, and the magnitude is very deep.
Understood.
And I can say that we have to be careful about what we put in our minds. My mother always says, since I was a little girl growing up, my mother said, "You don't watch certain things, you don't read certain things, and all that." And I'm like, why? And she's like, "Because your mind don't have no back door." She's like, "Whatever you put in your mind stays in your mind." Yeah. And I grew with that, So today, today I'm still young, early 30s, whatever. But today, I still don't watch horrors. I don't watch horror. You cannot catch me to watch a horror. I know I tried it once and I almost died.
Total opposite.
But quite interesting that someone would have been writing and basically scripting the way in which that they would kill somebody and then go out after and kill the person. So very, very sad. But for men out there, I say, listen, guys, be cautious. If you see your spouse writing some notes around and so writing some essays and so that may be documenting, so take stock of that. Yeah. Take stock.
Watch where your spouse reading. Gwyneth Anderson, you watch me reading. Shirley Crichton, do the same. Folks, look at what is happening internationally. We're following this. The IMF Managing Director, Kristalina, right? Is it Kristalina Georgieva?
Yes.
Kristalina Georgieva, she's visiting the Caribbean, as a matter of fact, in particular, Barbados. She's heading down for an event there. And it's the first time the IMF Managing Director is actually coming to the Caribbean. And this is a very, very important organization internationally, helping countries to get on the right path in terms of fiscal policy and so on. And a very important individual within that context. And she is heading to the Caribbean. And, we wish her well. You can step over and see what Emba is doing. Everything's sky high, bread $1,000 in Port Kaituma and so on. You can people and see.
Well, it does say, this is for a bit of context as to why she's traveling here. It does say she's to participate in a panel discussion on capacity building partnership for a more resilient Caribbean later this week. And that is slated to be on the 16th of June there in Barbados. So let's see what comes out of that. I know that usually Barbados, when they have meetings and so they would announce what came out of that. And when Mia goes overseas, she'd have a press conference stating, who she spoke with, what was the outcome. They have structures like that. So I'm very confident we're going to know what was fruitful about.
That being said, folks, we have this issue that happened overseas. The US-based Guyanese Mahadio Suknandan he was charged for murdering his nephew, stabbed him a couple times.
Our dirty
You know,
leaders all over.
thoughts and prayers to this family, the Supnandans. I'm sure you have family here as well, but this is happening in the diaspora. We said US-based Guyanese. It did happen overseas. Stabbed his nephew several times. Folks, signs of the times. Signs of the times.
That is true. A lot of times we come and we always say we're proud when Guyanese are doing good overseas.
And we're going to show you one such Guyanese just now.
And they're flying that flag high. And and in the same length and by this being measured by the same yardstick, we are embarrassed when Guyanese do wrong as well. And I have to say, like you rightly saying, condolences to the family of the young man that was murdered there, and we just don't like to have to report on such news, but these are the facts at hand, so we have to bring it as is. So condolences to the family, and I hope that there's some sort of resolution and that the crime is punished for by law.
Yep. And in local news, folks, this is what's brewing locally. These GRA officers, we talked earlier on about the police force and enforcement agencies and so forth. And what's happening on the roads, this has an impact on it. Selling licenses, that's the allegation being made here. This is the allegation being made. Okay. Very functional kitchen. The sink acting up behind us. You all are hearing that? She did jump. She thinks it's one of those movies. Right? And they were each placed in $100,000 bail. 3 GRA officer and 1 police constable. And it all stemmed from the sale of a license, or the proposed sale of a license to a minibus conductor. And it started there, and now these guys are going to have to answer for any misconduct if they did commit any infractions against their organizations. And this man here, 3 from GRA and 1 police constable, $100,000 bail each, and they go back to court in the not too distant future. Yep. That's how that went yesterday.
If I'm to add anything to that, is I will say, since I was a little girl growing up, I have heard about the fraud at GRA when it comes to driver's license. Since I was a little girl in school, and I'm sure that it has been happening even prior to that. So there must be systems put in place to curb that. And
it's growing people grow up, so growing people grow up, so no. So there is that. I don't know, while some of you guys are rushing to the US, fleeing this country at all costs. We see the lines, and US embassy had its own situation like GRA a little while ago. People trying to buy visa and all that to flee this country by any means necessary. There are actually people from the US who want to come here and enjoy a very quiet life. Not among your rowdy city folks. No. They want the quietude of the hinterland and the Rupununi savannas and so on. They want to live next door to y'all, right? And one such person is this young lady, who has left that life in the US. She's an American citizen, Jarida, ambitious young woman, Jennifer Lawrence. She lives here in the Rupununi, and she wants to pioneer a computer training facility in the Rupununi. Respect and manners, Jennifer. Respect and manners, Jarida.
Well, all I can think about is the fact that Jennifer came from the US to go live in central Rupununi and enjoy the peace and quiet there, and I'm still here centrally with all the stressors.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want the wrong people,
So,
way
to go,
especially the Republicans, right? And we got our own set here to deal with. You just want a quiet life, right? You're in for the brand names, and you're in for the, you just want the quiet life.
Yeah, but I know she's looking to finance a project when it comes to actually internet literacy for persons living there, and I have to say that any initiative of that nature is good. We commend it, and we say kudos.
Respect and manners.
Lawrence.
I bumped in on what's the thing? YouTube, incidentally, to another American couple who live here, but I think they're somewhere like in region 6 or 5, because the wife does like simple craft that she would sell, and so on, husband and wife. And they live here. The people sometimes just want the simple life, and everybody want, big extravagant stuff and so on. Just the simple life, and people are pretty much content with that. And I'm always amazed, how people can live off the land. When we going to Linden and so on, and you stop along the way to get some food and so on, you see people coming out of those tracks And sometimes you ask, how do you make out? People plant and live off the land. You don't got no TV, you don't got no phone, and those people tend to live very long too.
They don't have no light bill and water
No
bill.
light bill, no stress. The
House
quality of
rent.
life will kill up there, you know.
So-
But you and I here fighting GPL every day. Right? Just this morning, I hear my fridge making a sound like the sink here. I said, devil is a liar. Get out, Satan. It's GPL, you know, wreck up the fridge. The fridge now sounding like a snow cone car. Who would I go and complain to? You see, if I went in a bush, I not to worry. Yeah? It's just me and the element. You throw your two drink down in the creek and you get them in the morning and the cold and nice.
What do you know about creek?
You know, I know my thing, you know, I know 1 or 2 things. You know,
What a
1 or 2
shirt
things.
about creek.
Get them a foot wet and so 1 or 2 times.
Yeah, but I can see the migration pull when it comes to the Rupununi in specific, because like I said, like those are that's one place in Guyana that when I went, I'm like, like you're in awe of the moment,
the beauty,
the serenity,
all
together,
the picturesqueness.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be very simple adverbs here. You know, the beauty, the everything, you know.
It is amazing.
The adjectives, that's what I'm going to say. Adverbs, which is get like prayer. Right? She's a preposition. My adverbs and my adjectives.
Moving forward,
my parts of speech. You know, we were talking about people who Elizabeth Narayan says we better wonder what Jennifer's running from. She's running from them cantankerous people. She's running from that. But as we were talking earlier,
but she's not hiding. I can see that.
No, clearly,
she's very public about
clearly she's hiding.
Yes.
So we're talking about Guyanese who go overseas, and you know that make your hand fall. Unlike Elizabeth and all of the other guys, Vashti and those guys who are in the diaspora doing well and keeping a flag flying high. You know, you have some who not so much so, right? Galican, for instance, who was wanted by the police force, who was hiding in plain sight at the public, what do you call it? The Public Sector Commission, you know, big membership there, wanted by the police, hands fall with them. But here's a guy who has done extremely well for himself, like so many Guyanese, you know, thousands of Guyanese who live in the diaspora. You know, people say you have about 800,000 Guyanese who live in the diaspora, which is more than the population here. That is a conservative figure that I've seen being bandied about, but 800,000. And the majority of people live well, you know, and some of them with good cause. When they left, they show the trouble behind them. They say, I'll try there. I ain't going back. You know, I feel like there's some days, you know, I feel like that's some days. Right? And of recent is more days than that. But this is a fellow tweeter who is doing exceptionally well. And we want to say respect and manners to Leland Shepherd. He has just been elevated to Brigadier General. And he is the 6th Land Component Commander in Arkansas, in the Arkansas Army's National Guard. And Leland hails from Stanleytown, New Amsterdam. You see, when God got planned for you, I'm going to start preaching now. Acts 3:6, I don't even know what it said. I'm going to start preaching though. When God got a plan for you, right? When the Father up there says yes, no man can say no. When he open the door, Twitter, no man can shut it. Here is Leland Shepherd from Stanleytown, New Amsterdam, who has just been elevated in the U.S. Army. First black man to hold this post as the head of the Arkansas Army National Guard. Brigadier General. Real generals, you know, not them can't people we got running around here, can't string a subject and a verb together to save their life. That this brigadier and chief of staff and farm and all them kinds of things. The real deal. And we want to say respect and manners to this fellow. He has done well, Twitter. He has done exceptionally well.
And like I just said, you know, whenever Guyanese do well, we and fly the flag for us very proudly. We are happy.
Yes.
We always like to.
We're happy
for the work that they do. So absolutely amazing work.
Yeah.
I was looking at the videos, and lots what was said, and it made me feel very proud.
You mean this video here?
One man born in Guyana, South America, will now serve as the first black officer to command the Arkansas Army National Guard. THV 11's Jay Jackson shares tonight how being the first can leave a lasting impact.
A cannon salute pierces the air at the Camp Robinson Maneuver Training Center, a display of military honor, all for Colonel Leland Tony Shepard, who's being promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. Shepard is the first black officer to command the Arkansas Army National Guard.
We've chosen African Americans and minorities to lead at various levels of our organization.
Everyone's happy about the momentous occasion, but none more than 3 important people sitting on the front row.
His children, daughter Logan, and sons Ryan and Lucas.
Proud because he's turning into the highest rank.
9-year-old Logan participates in the presentation of the General Officer Belt, signifying that Shepard could now wear with his uniform.
I gave him the belt. I gave him Josh.
5-year-old Lucas, along with his mom, pinned Shepard for the ceremony.
And I presented this weapon.
In a presentation of the General Officer pistol, his son, 2nd Lieutenant Ryan Shepard, smiles and laughs with his father before saluting him.
Ever since I moved to Arkansas, I joined the Arkansas National Guard. I'm really proud of my dad. He set a good example for all of us to follow.
Shepard knows being the first comes with a lot of responsibility.
For my kids and all the other kids, not just mine, that can look up at that podium and be inspired by someone that looks like them, I'm serving as an inspiration.
Commanding the Arkansas Army National Guard is a big role to fill, but only comes second in being a father to his kids, who look at him as
A very good dad. Super dad.
In North Little Rock, Jay Jackson, THV 11 News.
The Brigadier General says he hopes future generations can follow in his footsteps.
Yep. Respect and manners, Brigadier General. Respect and manners. Stanley Tom, New Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Saturday.
it's one thing to say that he has done us proud when it comes to the that momentous achievement. But I think I want to look at a video there. You know, one of the achievement that is even more great is like you have this father, this present father that his children could depend upon, and they said, you know, his son, you know, following in his footsteps, 2nd lieutenant is his already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you understand the strength of the family and that structure altogether. So kudos.
If you want a role model, that's a good one.
Yeah, kudos to him.
That's a good one. Right, Carl Mills, I'm tearing up. I feel it, brother. It's only shame I can't thinking right now. It's only shame.
Very, very touching, very, very inspiring.
Yeah. We could all be a little proud as Guyanese on that note. Folks, and the big issue, we head right into the big issue. You know what we're talking about this morning? Yep. Justice for Quindon Bacchus. That's what folks are asking for. Justice for Quindon Bacchus. Justice. That's what folks want. You know, this guy who was shot by a police officer 6 times, Judah. You are reminding me, once in his chest, 5 times in his back. Right? And at Golden Grove yesterday, the folks were asking for justice. That's what they're asking for.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! What we want? Justice! What we want? Justice! What we want? Justice! What we want? Justice! We want justice! We want justice! Who the get? 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 We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! What we want? Justice! What we want? Justice! We want justice! We want justice! Oh, justice! Law peace! Oh, justice! Law peace! Oh, justice! Law peace! Oh, justice! Law peace! We want justice! We want justice!
A very good morning to you, wherever you're joining this live broadcast from. I'm coming to you live from Golden.
That is some of what was happening there. Yep. Some of what happened, and that's Golden Grove, they tell us, in the East Bank. The folks were protesting there, Twitter, over this, the murder of Quindon Bacchus. Lots of unanswered questions.
Rightly so. It is unacceptable to live in a country in which that is the way things are done. It's unacceptable to live in a country in which a young man is shot 5 times in his back. 5 times in his back. All right, this was not based on the reports coming out. Let me just put that as my starting statement. Based on the reports coming, out.
Mhm.
He was running from the individual that was shooting at him. He was running from that person and be shot 5 times in your back. I mean, I'm not going to make any pronouncement as it comes to the legal aspect of this and all of that, the technicalities. But the post-mortem examination that was conducted is saying that Quindon was shot there, and he was shot 6 times, and they're saying that it was 5 times to his back and once to his chest. And when you have those details being presented to a community, you understand why persons are out there protesting.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
it cannot be the way in which things are done in our country. The way it is right now, it appears to be a blatant murder. That's the only way persons can see it, based on the facts and the evidence being presented to the public. There's no other way in which I can see it.
Yeah. And some of the facts we have this morning is that they tell us the police officer who would have shot and killed Quindon Bacchus, he has been placed under close arrest. The matter is before the police complaint authority for an investigation, and that is some of the information we have at hand. There was a football club from the area which Quindon Bacchus lived in, Haslington there, that put out a statement, and part of which reads that a former member of the Golden Grove football squad, Quindon, remained committed to his investment in people even to his last days. He's remembered for his zealous attendance to training sessions when they played with the Golden Stars Club and the discipline shown on the field. He'll be remembered for those things. The statement out of that football club, the Golden Grove Football Club, says the Dynamic Football Club of Golden Grove, says that we cherish the memories of his warm smile and unending jokes. Quindon's character was marked by tremendous humility and on the unwavering pursuit throughout his entire life to make everyone in his circle laugh. The statement ends by saying that the 24-year-old, for the 25-year-old rather, we have seen him grow to become a model citizen who, to our recollection, was never in conflict with the police. He loved this community and he was committed to making a difference in the lives of the young men therein through sports. His participation in organizing the Golden Grove inter-track football is a great loss to the club. Quindon was eager, the statement reads, to see attendance of the Gender Affairs Bureau of the Ministry of Human Affairs in the area as per an invitation typed by him for empowerment sessions with youths of the youth of Golden Grove. We, the members of the Dynamic Football Club, draw strength from the indomitable will of our brother shown within his lifetime. His memory will live on. That's what the Dynamic Football Club of the East Coast, Demerara, said in a statement. Yep. That's what we have.
You know, there's a lot of information out there. We've seen the video of the protest, and I know that I've also seen a video footage of from a surveillance camera from what I believe is someone's home that was showing children walking on the roadway whilst you hear.
Why would police open fire so indiscriminately?
Shots being fired.
And I think we can take a look at that. We can take a look at that as well. Here it is. Yep. Astonishing.
This is gonna. I think this particular matter is way far from over. I mean, the details as it come out, and I can see persons becoming more and more furious.
Yeah, more in the matter than on the pistol. More in the matter than on the pistol. Here is some protests in Haslington of itself just yesterday on the very issue.
must go? Who must go? Who must go? Who must go? Obia. Everybody from Tilson. You see the distance where they're running from? Tilson, where they're running from. They run from Tilson, sir, till the bridge. And bring the air and murder you. When you jump in the gate. To save your life. Begging for your life. Telling that when you get the son and his wife just come home from the Barbados. And they will save your life, like murder you. Hey, murder you. Tell them they run for Tilson. They will run you all the way here, murder you. Wrong thing and no murder you. When civilian go to the police, it's to comply. The police can take their statements and do whatsoever it's supposed to be. You understand? What things about them could have do better than that. Out of care, showing them hiding out and they would come and kill this man. Where's God?
Do you believe his murder was planned?
The murder was planned. His murder was planned and everything. Because they had police officer in the car waiting. So as soon as the guys go up to the car, they start shooting, police jump out when the car start shooting. He run from Quindon so by the supermarket and come Quindon this side. And the guys Quindon behind me and shoot him. And the next one turn and say empty the clip on you.
Yep. That was a protest at Haslington on the East Coast. People calling for justice for Clifton, for Quindon. Quindon Bacchus calling for justice. And Quindon joins a list now of people. It's cropping up. It's getting longer under this regime, this administration, that have been shot and killed under very suspicious circumstances. Clifton Elizabeth might be a reference to Clifton Hickins, the Commissioner of Police. It might be a reference to Clifton Hickins, who is the Commissioner of Police. Elizabeth Narayan is asking, who is Clifton? Okay. It could be a reference to the Commissioner of Police, Clifton Hickins. But that being said, he now joins our list, and this list is getting longer. And we've articulated this in all our programs. A number of men within the last 24 months have lost their lives under very, very suspicious circumstances. And now Quindon Bacchus joins that. Cecil Rampart was 39 years old when he sustained gunshot wounds to his back. 25th day of July, 2021. Shot by police. Gunshot wounds to his back. To this day, his family is still asking for justice. Guyana has become a wild, wild west. Sherwin Philly was 22. He was shot at Presence, shot in his eyes. January 29th, 2021. Sherwin Philly. They said he was in a shack, that he called his home. Police said he was wanted, and when they broached his home, he approached them with a cutlass. Sherwin Philly was shot to his eyes. Peter Headley, whose family still asks for justice for him, 45 of Downing Street, Killy. He was shot, died of a perforated lungs. Again, these circumstances are so extraordinary, it's beyond belief. Headley was placed in a police vehicle. In a vehicle, he's in the passenger seat. A policeman is driving, a policeman is in the back seat. Policeman said Headley reached under the seat for something. He thought it was a gun. Shoots Headley in his back. Right? There was no gun ever found in the vehicle. Cecil Sampat, who we started with, police intercepted the vehicle Cecil Sampat was in, along with some other colleagues. They were placed on the road when Cecil Sampat was shot in his back, lying on the road. Right? His family still asking for justice. And how could we forget Orrin Boston, the 29-year-old businessman from Dartmouth on the Essequibo coast, who was shot in his bedroom. In his bed, sleeping next to his wife. Quindon Bacchus now joins this list that seems to be getting longer of people who have been shot by the police under some very, very suspicious circumstances. All of this is within the last 24 months. All of this. And all of their families cry out for justice. Will your son be next? Could I be next? That's the country we're living in. Well, West. Jurija.
You know, the startling reality, and I think that when we put it over the way in which we put it over, especially giving persons a reminder of what has happened before.
Quindon Bacchus was shot once, according to the report. His chest.
But all 4
5 times his
of
back.
those persons, you know, that was murdered last year, all 4 of them. It is within 2021. All 4 of them, you know, and now you have someone being added to this list. We have a serious situation.
Serious breakdown of law and order. And there's a facade that everything is going well.
It is extremely serious. And I see the persons protesting and I say, let them protest. Let them go out there. Let them demand justice. It is your right as a Guyanese to go out and protest. It's your right as a citizen. Protest.
Yep.
All right. And as you would know, apparently that is the only language the administration actually understands. That may be the only thing that is going to get the attention and to demand some sort of swiftness.
Justice. Yeah.
We're going to call officially from the FYI platform for a thorough investigation into the case, into the murder of Mr. Bacchus. Young man, a young life being snatched, murdered brutally. 5 shots to his back, 1 to his chest. We're calling for a swift, immediate, thorough investigation into this particular matter. And we say to the persons there in the communities, demand justice. You must demand justice. Justice is not something that people are going to come and we are in a country in which if you do not demand justice, it is going to be tucked away and pushed in a corner. And I say kudos to the persons that are out there protesting right now. And I say that you have to continue to do all of that.
Yeah. You know, somebody's asking us there why the police was following Mr. Norton yesterday, and your guess is as good as mine. Maybe they wanted a handshake like here for Ali.
Well,
you know, they said they were under instructions.
That is what I was just about to say. They made it very clear that they were under instruction. They were under instruction to do that.
Yeah, but we're going to continue to follow this, folks, and as we get additional information, as Rita said, we're asking for justice for a young Quindon Bacchus as well. And as we get in more information, guys, we're going to keep you updated. I think that's our time for the morning.
That's our time this morning, guys. You know, we thank you for joining us. It's a very, very sad note for us to end on, but this is what it is. This is the country that we're living in, and we have to be reporting what is going on, and this is just what is at the present moment. So join us this midday for the podcast at 12, and then again this evening at 8 p.m. for In the Ring. And let us have some more in-depth discussions. We may very well be able to see what you guys are thinking this midday.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, folks. You know, we covet you guys sharing the broadcast for us, smashing that emoji button, share the broadcast, folks. Smash the emoji button and partner with us as well. We're available via Zelle, PayPal. We're available also via the Cash App, MMG, in addition, and also via Western Union and MoneyGram. We can't do this work without you folks. It costs us something to put this whole thing together and keep it running day after day. And that's why we ask you guys to come on board, as we are fully public funded by you folks. Come on board and partner with us. If you need any more information or guidance, 627-6963. That's the number you want to call. That's our WhatsApp number. It's our MMG number as well, 627-6963. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Have a good day.